Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to the season finale at iRacing Superspeedway. It's time to crown a champion in the UpperEdge Racing Baadteshop Superspeedway Series. 4 drivers come into this race battling it out, but we have a 5th that might be in the mix based off of what just took place in group qualifying. I'm Seth Cole, being joined by Matthew Rodriguez, who's pulling double duty here tonight. He's on the commentator mic, but he's also behind the wheel. We've done this before here in the Baadteshop Superspeedway series, but 20 drivers, including yourself, Matt. A lot of points on the line. It's going to be interesting here tonight how the Championship 4 try and make their way through the other 16 drivers.
And that's the thing where you've got to remember, those Championship 4, they're going to be driving a bit of a chip on their shoulder. They've got a lot to lose. Ryan Potter is one of those guys that have the most to lose because he's got that 90-point lead, but it's a double points race. So, hey, that lead can quickly evaporate if something goes wrong.
Show you the starting lineup for tonight's race. And yeah, you bring up Ryan Potter, consistency this year. He's yet to find victory lane, but he's been consistently up inside of the top 5, top 10 every single week. And while the wins pay out a lot of points, the consistency certainly does as well. Connor Holden, second in points. He's been consistent, but he also got an assistance from the last time we were here, where Carl Faust went to victory lane as a sub-driver, so he raked in some very valuable points there, keeping him in the championship battle. You got Dylan Pote, 2-time winner on the season. He's sitting third in the points, trying to close out the year with a championship. And Bronson Stafford, the 2-time winner, the defending champion, currently sits fourth, maybe the furthest out of those that are mathematically still having a shot at this thing. He's got a lot of work to do here tonight.
You know, I kind of talked with Connor before the race, and he mentioned that if he ended up winning this championship, it would be the biggest asterisk that he's ever had on the standings, just because Carl Faust was the one who kept him in this fight.
And we talked about the fact that maybe 5 drivers in the hunt. You see Tom Bourne lining up on the pole position, was 170 points out coming into tonight. Needed this pole if he was going to have a mathematical shot. He got it, so a lot of other things need to happen, but at least for the moment, prior to the green, he still is in championship contention.
Absolutely. It's almost lights go out. Green flag still waiting. Man, when is this green flag going to drop? There it is.
There it is. We hadn't quite gotten to the restart zone. That's what happens when you start at the back. You don't see where the leaders are at the restart zone.
Well, currently I've got the perfect view of Cody Lamas. Man, he is slow.
If they go slow, you shove them faster. That's how it works. Bronson Stafford trying to swing around the outside of Tom Bourne for the race lead. Obviously, a lot of bonus points on the line here tonight. Driver that leads a lap, driver that leads the most laps, fastest lap of the evening. And then, of course, had a lot of drivers, as we saw with our starting grid, who did not take time, trying to hope that the random qualifying put them deep in the field so they could get the bonus points for most positions gained from the start to the conclusion of this race. It's 3 wide at the front. Supras all. Bourne, Stafford, and Shane Tyrion repping the top side.
Absolutely. Oh, someone catches the wall. It's Norman.
And we got one around. Oh, we got one airborne. And I think was Carl Faust, last time out's winner.
Good. Oh, he's dashed for Dom too.
He is indeed. Blake Trawick was in that as well. He's on the pit road, the 56, runner-up a couple of times this season. Caution out for the first time here tonight, and Carl Faust, as you said, one of the Dash for Dong drivers. We'll document those 4 in just a moment, but now he's going to, right out of the gate, have to utilize a fast repair.
Norman took a huge hit on that wall.
I think that started with Norman, right? I think that basically was reaction to the 22 getting up into the wall off of turn 4, as we'll go back and look at the replay, but Carl Faust, he got pile driven. I couldn't tell. I don't think he hit the pit wall entrance, but he got popped, I think, by the 56.
Yeah, I didn't see the end of that, but I definitely saw Norman catching the fence and then coming back off of it. I assume on that backswing, that's where he ended up catching it. Oh, yeah. My goodness.
Wow, there goes Carl Faust. He did get the pit wall, and to your point, yeah, when Norman came down, he just barely clipped the right rear quarter panel of Blake Trawick.
And that car is demolished.
Take another look at it. Boy, that thing caught air very quickly. 22 up on the top, clips the 56, loose. Oh gosh, So the 12 was already up and over and then hits those barrels at the entrance of the pit lane. Big hit. It's kind of strange. My biggest question out of all that is, how is that thing driving away?
See, that's the biggest thing, where that thing has no front end, no back end. It really looks like a Budweiser can here at the moment, and it's still driving.
Nice reference. I like that. I was going to say it looked like Tony Kanaan's SRX car from last night.
A little bit too soon.
I mean, hey, that thing's still finished.
You going to that race next week?
No, I am not.
Oh.
I thought about it, but here's the thing. If I end up going to that race next week, then I'd be home by 3 o'clock in the morning and have to leave 5 hours later for Pennsylvania. So, no thanks. Not happening.
Just do the...
Just go from... Yeah, let's just go from Connecticut to Pennsylvania. Skip heading back home.
Oh, you'll love it.
Oh,
It's a beautiful drive being halfway knocked out.
Can't wait for the storms to be there again next week. Oof.
Put on them rain tires. You got this.
It's nothing like 1,000 people all trying to exit out of the gate at the same time, and the storm's literally just like above you.
Well, is it like the drenching storm or the humid storm?
It was, but I'll put it this way. Basically, by the time I got about 200 feet away from my car, it was the drenching storm.
Oh.
Yeah. The best part is you end up seeing people who didn't know where they had parked their cars. So you just
ever heard of a dollar store poncho, my guy? I think they sell them for like $15 at the track.
I mean, if you need a dollar store poncho, just bring up a trash bag. It's like the easiest poncho out there.
Talk about my Halloween costume for like the past 5 years.
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Oh, I made a mistake by not pitting. I just realized Bronson Stafford was the first one on pit road. He is directly behind me, and even though it's those 2-3 laps, he's got just that little bit more fuel where he can make a different strategy work.
So Michael Norman coming to pit road there, and he's got that front end damage still. Looks like he's electing not to take on the faster pair, doing manual repairs. Looks like only one driver took on the faster pair. No surprise, it was Carl Faust, but pretty good damage for Blake Trawick that he'll try and ride out with here for the remainder of this race, or at least until maybe later on in the race, take on the faster pair then. One thing that you and I were talking about before we came on the air that we saw the last time you guys were here at iRacing Superspeedway was the car randomly snapping loose. So a lot of drivers have issues with that, and a lot of drivers that we talked with post-race discussed about that. That's certainly something that's got to be weighing on every single driver's mind as well.
Yeah, and there's a few trouble spots on this track, but what really I'm having the back of my head is I'm thinking, hey, right now, this is kind of like the battle of attrition. We just need to survive, because once we get to those final 10, 15 laps, that's when it's really go time for me. And especially I ended up starting P18. I am now P4 on the outside line, and I got at the P8 before that caution came out. The runs that you get here are massive. You can be all the way back in the back of the pack, and then suddenly, hey, you're up at the front with that kind of run.
Driver we see out in front, Tom Bourne, as I recall back in that first iRacing SS race that we had, he and Bronson Stafford several times would drop to the back and then tandem their way up to the front. So yeah, something that we may
Yeah, I got nightmares about that. I remember losing the one to that.
Might see a lot of drivers utilize that in the closing stages of this race. As see the lights are out atop the iRacing pace car. He's ready to head for pit road and turn them loose once again. Stacked up 2 or 3 rows of 2, and then all the drivers that either came to pit road or elected on the choose cone to be on the inside line. So this will be an interesting kind of staggered start as Tom Bourne, green flag back in the air, gets a pretty good gap back to Dylan Poteet and Mike Tellier. Another driver, I didn't see them involved in that wreck, but they did spend a little bit of extra time on pit road with Sean Billman in the 06, so we'll keep an eye on him. I don't see any visible damage on him back there, but a little over a minute he spent in his stall there under that pit stop. As inside line, bunch of Supras there, Tom Bourne, Mike Tellier, and that's Chad Winstead. It's interesting because I was looking back, and this is only the second time that iRacing Superspeedway is where the championship is decided. Daytona and Talladega have both also been venues in past seasons. Mike Tellier, back the first time the championship was decided here, was the winner of that race. So keep an eye on that 47. Might be trying to double down in winning the season finale here at iRacing Superspeedway.
And iRacing Superspeedway has been so important to the SS series, especially with the old car that we used to use, the Legacy B-Class cars, because almost iRacing SS was our home where we could really ring those cars out and show what kind of monsters they were in the draft.
So in comparison to those cars and these cars, I mean, a lot of differences, not much differences in terms of, you know, the ability to be able to generate runs, to be able to tandem. Because, yeah, I remember with those legacy cars, it seemed like the runs were huge. We ended up seeing 3 and 4 wide almost every single time.
Oh, my wingman! My wingman let me out!
No!
Betrayal! Do all the work and then he gets shuffled out of the bottom line. Come on, Boaty.
And he doesn't even lead that lap, I don't think, either.
Come on! I did all the work. I got you up there.
Red Goose gives you wings, but doesn't give you a lap lead.
Oh.
Tom Bourne back to the point, but yeah, like, are there any, like, absolutely noticeable differences between the current Xfinity car and the legacy car that you guys ran?
Andy on the apron!
Legal.
He's got it.
Save.
I think that may have been a little bit of bumper grab between Tellier and Andy, but not exactly sure.
Save there. Fortunately, all that runoff space down there in the apron. At some point, we'll end up having some calm moment where you can answer that question that I've asked twice.
But here's the thing. Really, the big difference between the Legacy B car and our current Xfinity class car that we're racing now is stability. Stability and how we're able to push, but also damage. Because the big problem with this car is it's not as tanky as our old car. The old car, we could take a lot more hits. It really was a tank. And the next big benefit of having that old Xfinity car was the hitboxes. The hitboxes, oh my goodness, I see Poteet all the way down on the apron.
It's legal in this
I'm
series.
in danger.
John Poole, the third, went down the way. Oh, Poole gets loose! Into Tom Bourne!
I'm in it. I'm in it.
Oh, yes, you are. So is Jason Shuey.
My goodness, he's dying. Potter's in it.
Ryan Potter is involved. Blake Trawick. Don't know about any of our other championship drivers. I was going to mention that I saw Shane Tyrion was towards the back of the pack. That might not have been such a bad decision. Oh, Mike Tellier, the 47, smoking on the front straightaway.
That was a lot of cars.
That was.
My goodness.
Very
what in the
shallow
world?
entry for John Poole III when he was following the tire tracks of Dylan Pote going into turn number 3, and I think that might have been a big reason why that thing snapped loose.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is when something goes wrong at iRacing SS all the way down by the yellow line, it works its way all the way back up the track and makes sure it takes you with it.
Here's a look at what happened. We're going to go all the way back to the middle of the backstretch. Dylan Pote and John Poole III both making that move down to the inside. Now watch as they enter here into turn 3. Poteet's already up on the track, but right there you can see what the transition from the apron to the racetrack for Poole gets him loose. It loses him just those little couple miles per hour. Tom Bourne's into the back of him. There was the hit for Ryan Potter in the 99. Very easy to see him tonight, that bright pink Chevrolet.
And remember, what goes up must, or what goes down must come up eventually.
And then back down, and then maybe back up again. Tom Bourne needed that pole position points. He got it. He was trying, I think, to also lead the most laps. Oh, man. Hooks Mike Tellier right up into you. Is Chewy nowhere to go? And then Mike
That
Tellier
screamed a little
back
bit.
down the track.
I thought I had it missed. I thought I had it missed. I really did.
Sometimes it's just close your eyes, mash the throttle, and pray. Tom Bourne driving backwards there, doing his best Lightning McQueen impression, I guess.
He's got that helmet on.
Wait, really?
Yeah, no, if you look at it, he's got like the Lightning McQueen, like, really eating grin. You'll see it here. Yep, there it is.
There she be.
Man, that looks so ridiculous.
Ka-chow.
You think he was saying that as he was plowing into the fence?
It might have been. Jason Shuey gonna stay out, so he'll get himself a lap lead here. Matter of fact, I believe Jason Shuey might have actually gotten a faster pair. Yeah, he did, and then came out of pit road when everybody else pitted. So he's actually cycling to the race lead because of that.
And what I'm really curious of is how many people still have that fast repair. I burned mine because I had the meatball, but honestly, that's really concerning, seeing as we're on lap 10 of 57.
As of right now, the list reads as follows. Jason Shuey, yourself, Carl Faust from the first incident, Michael Norman, Mike Tellier, Ryan Potter, Tom Bourne, Blake Trewick have all used faster pairs.
Aye, aye. And that's a
one of
huge
them
hit for
important there
Potter.
for Potter, yeah.
And
The
remember,
other
like,
three still have their faster pair.
Potter has that 90-ish point gap. But if Potter has a really bad day here, and someone like Bronson or Poteet or, I mean, heck, Holden can really steal this one from under his nose, it gets risky.
New livery there for Jason Shuey, Texas Roadhouse sponsorship, but
I know, I've liked it. It looked really nice.
I must have been sleeping. When did he swap from a Camaro to a Supra?
See, that's what I was also wondering. Like, he's usually been a devout runner of that Camaro, so...
Yeah, I'm so used to seeing the blue Chevrolet Camaro, but...
Not sure if someone in the Supra gang bought him off.
Well, maybe.
See, I'm hesitant to help Poteet this time because he left me out to dry last time. And then he got me killed.
Yeah, he did. You know, I've been waiting to say this all season. The goose was cooked.
What is this, the Christmas story?
You poked your eye out. Anyway, looks like lights are out on the Pace car. I was gonna say truck. There's clearly a car. So we will go back green this time. Lap 12 will go on the board, working the second caution. And as you said, a lot of drivers that do not have the faster pair available to them at this time. It's still a lot of racing left to go. A couple of things that we'll document here. The Dash for Dong, Vietnamese Dong, I believe it's what, about $50 USD that it equals out to?
About 50, I think. I may have the
roughly
value of
about.
the dong may have went down since I last checked, but we're gonna keep it at what it originally was because the value of the dong is dropping.
And the four drivers that are in the running for that are previous four winners going back to the duels at Dega. So Andy Siegel, DJ Stagner, Shane Tyrion, and Carl Faust, all battling for best finishing position here tonight to be able to rake in that cash prize. Obviously, as we mentioned, Carl Faust, one of those final four that had to use a faster pair in the early going. DJ Stagner and Andy Siegel are two winners from the Dega duels. Right now running in 17th for Stagner and 6th for Siegel. And then Shane Tyrion, who was at the back of the pack when that wreck took place, was able to make his way through, and he restarts in the 9th spot as the green flag is back in the air here at iRacing Superspeedway. Also a championship that's going on that I think is pretty much was decided at the conclusion of the last race. Swamp Motorsports going to be taking the team championship as they've got 3 of their drivers inside the top 6, 4 of them inside of the top 10 in overall standings.
Yeah, and really all this race is doing is just making it official. And Swamp, I say, why maybe they haven't been as flashy as other teams this season. They have been consistent, and that's what's going to win them.
Yeah, definitely have been consistent. The top 2 in points, Ryan Potter, Connor Holden. Out of that camp, DJ Stagner, I believe, is the only driver out of the team that has won. And that was back, of course, at Talladega in the first duel. Ty Smith, the other driver, he is tied for 9th in points coming into tonight with Sean Billman, as Dylan Poteet is going to lead that lap this time.
Yeah, he looked really squirrely when I got to his back bumper. Now, in the 1, that's where we get into a really iffy portion. And you saw right behind Andy just kind of lost that little bit of momentum. Now you got Shane and Mike on that high side. I ended up messing up my corner. So now they're going to get a good run.
You shouldn't have said that. You should have said you were trying to make a pass down below the yellow line.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going back to Poteet. I got him. Never mind. I got him. I almost wrecked him.
Now, one thing that I got to ask right now, and, you know, this is great to be able to get the driver's point of view, is we see as you go into the corner, there's about 5 or 6 lanes that are available, but it doesn't seem like it doesn't matter what kind of a car it is. It's really difficult to line up the bumpers here through the corners because there's so much push-up, and it's kind of at random whether you get pushed up a lane, 2 lanes, a lane and a half, so you can't really keep the draft as tight as you would like to on the straightaways.
Absolutely, and then we really run into issues. Let's not pan to my view.
Well, When I said pass below the yellow line, I meant go forward, but I guess that
Well,
counts too.
that's what we're talking about, is how sketchy it is to get the turn one. But also, that was a mistake from myself when I came out of 4. Because the runs that you get off of that, and if you don't line the bumpers perfectly, you got the guys behind you. Andy was right on me, and I'm thinking, hey, if I pull right back up in Andy's line, I may take us all out. So I ended up diving down low, dropping back, but that put me in a terrible situation. I entered really low, and I hit that bottom bump on turn 1, and that was just enough to almost take out the field.
Big moment there for Bronson Stafford. Disappeared for a brief moment, then reappeared. Let's get a caution for Matt going in the chat here.
Yeah, actually, I think the toe on the car is knocked off. I'm actually turning around.
And could that have been that huge transition of banking to apron there in that corner?
I mean, I have to probably say my spoiler's probably getting a little bit more air after that. It's got to
oh, there's a caution. Mike Tellier gets loose into Andrew Siegel, Chad Winstead, Michael Norman involved. Big one, number 2. Oh, there's more. Shane Tyrion is in it.
But look at Brian Potter. He stopped. He did the best thing he could. He stopped.
Tom Bourne did the same exact thing. Both just come to a complete stop, wait for everything to settle out, and then continue on. Michael Norman had taken on his faster pair under the last caution, so that could be day over for him, or at least that thing's going to be majorly off the pace for the remainder. Shane Tyrion, front end missing on that car. So that's a second of our Dash for Dong drivers that's had a problem here tonight. I don't believe any of our 4 contending drivers for the championship
honestly
were involved in that. Holden, Poteet, Stafford were all ahead of it, and Potter is in 11th. You said he came to a stop, so I don't think any of them were collected.
Yeah, I think they all look clean, but I'm just trying to figure out where that went wrong originally. It just got so out of shape.
Mike Tellier, I think that that random looseness got the 47 as he was side by side with Andrew Siegel for, I thought it was 2nd place. It might actually be 3rd place here going into turn 3. And there you see it. It's almost like you just turn in the wheel a little bit and the car is like,
look
you want
at
to
Matt
turn the line.
Muir. Oh my goodness. Look at Cody Lamas.
Carl Faust got involved.
I want onboards of those guys.
You want them, you got them.
My goodness. Cody turned into a monster truck trying to drive down that banking, and Muir, he found the hole.
He's on board 72, Matt Muir. It's a front row seat of everything ahead of him, and
my goodness. And you just see cars all around you, just trying to find any way around. And Cody had a lot more interesting kind of way to get through this.
I'd have to think, too, that with all of that darting left and right, we're already seeing drivers at full speed get loose going into a corner. I mean, it's got to be tail happy, right? Like you're trying to avoid the wreck and at the same time thinking, please don't spin, please don't spin.
And then you also have the back of your mind, too, where you got to think, hey, when these cars get light on fuel load, we're running about 75% fuel load. Man, you just see them all start packing up right in front of him. He just barely finds a hole through. And I think Ty Smith also had a pretty good view of that one, too.
Cody was right behind Matt Muir. The two of them took 2 entirely different pathways through that wreck, but both got through it, and Ty Smith will go on board 18, courtesy of the gyro cam. So Norm get loose on the apron, and then...
My goodness.
Woo, and you saw the hand. Look at the hand motion there on the left side of your screen. Yeah. Trying to make sure that thing doesn't snap loose.
And you may be able to look at that banking saying, oh yeah, I can save that car easily. But it's a thing of when that banking and that bottom apron work against you and kind of bounce your car up and down, you just don't have control. You're just kind of fighting the car, and really what you're trying to do is make sure it doesn't hook towards the outside wall or hook towards anything else, that you can kind of keep it self-contained on the bottom of the track.
Yeah, and obviously my knowledge of racing on this track is nil, but there is a version of this type of racetrack on the M2003 sim, and everything you're describing even translates over to that one. Just the transition from the banking to the racetrack itself in the corners, there's just so little you can do. A lot of times the car does most of the work. There's the 5 of Andrew Siegel coming down pit road. A lot of damage on the Menard Chevrolet, one of our Dash for Dong drivers. So that's 3 of them now that have been involved in something. I think the only one that hasn't gotten
DJ
a piece of the
Stagner.
action, DJ Stagner in the 64, who right now is going to, looks like, restart in the 3rd position.
It's been a battle of attrition to start this one out. I mean, like I said, there's been a lot of good cars, a lot of good drivers that have gotten caught up in these early wrecks. Look at Matt Muir in P4. That is someone I did not expect to see up here that early in the race, and it is absolutely amazing to see him. He has grown since we started this season, where he had never even really turned that many laps competitively on the iRacing sim. And then to now where, hey, he's up here and he's really in contention to battle for this win now with all the wrecks that happened.
I think it was our 2nd Daytona race when I was talking with you guys post-race. He's definitely gained confidence. He was talking about that.
Well, I mean, you got to think he's on his 3rd clone. I mean, they've went into the fence 2 weeks in a row.
That's true. That is true.
We're on Matt Muir 3 at this point.
Going into the catch fence will do something to him, man. But, you know, you look back at the last time we were here at iRacing Superspeedway. Matt Muir started 21st, finished in the 7th position. So, you know, good numbers here at this racetrack this season. And right now, up inside of the top 10, top 5 here. I believe Matt might be looking for his first top 5 on the season. Let me double check on that.
I think Matt is. I think he's had some really decent runs put together. He just hasn't been able to finish them. So, like I said, we're still early in this race. There's still a lot that can go on, but we're going to try and slow down the pace, see if we can keep it more controllable.
Yep, 2 top 10s, no top 5s for driver 72. The guy who won the last time we were here at iRacing Superspeedway, going to bring us to green, Dylan Poteet. It was the 2nd of his 2 wins as he went back-to-back the week prior as well at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's getting fanned out there. Woo! Slicing and dicing there.
Had to be easy in the 1, though. That's a 1. 1 is the scary corner because it just has so much uncertainty. And what you're really going to see here is I'm going to kind of walk you through it. I'm going to try and shoot that gap. That gap isn't going to work, so I'm going to shoot it down low, and you have the run. Look at the amount of draft. I'm going to back out of this before I take a whole field with me. But that just shows you how much of a run you can get down the back straightaways. Oh, we see the spinner, Jason Shue.
Caution out. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he hit that banking awfully and ended up taking that whole thing with him.
Wild ride there for the number 3, Jason Shuey. Caution out for the 4th time tonight. DJ Stagner took the lead from Dylan Poteet. Saw him make that move on the outside going into turn 1, and it paid off down the back straightaway into 3. So he'll be yet another leader on the day. Let's go back and take a look. You got a pretty good view of what happened there with Jason Shuey over in 3 and 4.
And he may have honestly been reacting to me, probably expecting me to come up the track. And he was just a little bit iffy. And oh, it's that same thing that we've been talking about all race.
Same line.
It's that entry. It's just enough to get you unsettled. And man, it just flipped him right on over.
Car that got him was the 38 of Shane Tyrion. Let me double check if Shane had taken on a faster pair after his front end damage earlier. No, he still had his faster pair available. He was the one that got the 3 as he came back down the track. Maybe a little contact for Cody Lamas as well. He was very close to the left rear of Jason Shuey. Let's take another camera angle and see if there was contact between those two. Nope, not quite. That was really close. Tom Bourne, almost some contact there with Shane Tyrion as well. After Tyrion was trying to move up to avoid the 3 of Jason Shuey coming up the banking.
And now is when we get into that fun little lull where it's lap 2057. We've had some cautions. We haven't really had that decent of a green flag run. And this is when you start seeing drivers. This is where the real mental kind of game comes into play. Because you're looking at this, you're kind of relaxing, you're getting used to pacing, and you're not getting used to running in that pack. And then, hey, once we go green, we get maybe a good straightaway, good lap in before we have another caution. What that really does to a driver, it kind of dulls your senses. So when we get into that long run, that's when issues start to appear.
So for Ryan Potter, basically here tonight, I think, again, I don't really know how all the bonus points work, and it is a double points race. We should stress that to everybody here. So what normally you would get on a regular week is actually going to get doubled here tonight. That's why we have 4 drivers in contention for the championship, even though the furthest out is 123 points back. But 91 points back Connor Holden, 115 back Dylan Poteet, 123 back Bronson Stafford. I think it's safe to say Ryan Potter finishes top 10. He's got this championship locked up probably.
Easily, I think he probably will. It depends on how many bonus points everyone else gets, and also how much you're able to leverage. Bronson missing that pole is going to hurt him a ton. That's 10 bonus points that basically just goes away. So that's huge for Tom Bourne, but that is a huge hit for Bronson Stafford as well. But Dylan Poteet, he's putting his best foot forward, trying to lead as many laps as possible. See if he can get that most lap led bonus. Another one of those bonuses we got in the back of our head is that fastest lap. That's in my mind too.
For Tom Bourne, got that pole position as we've talked about, but would he have also have had to have led the most laps here tonight? Would he have needed that bonus point to stay in contention?
That's where I'm a little bit fuzzy on, but I really say if you're in that long shot scenario like Bronson, like Tom, like DJ even, you needed all the bonus points you had available, and Tom was really one of those guys I saw put his best foot forward, got that pole, got those points, but I think he's going to fall a little bit short, but he really needs something to happen with Holden, Bronson, and Potter to really be a serious chance here.
Well, working our fourth caution. Should get the one to green, nearing halfway. A couple of drivers that more than likely will not finish out this race contending for the win. Mike Tellier and Michael Norman, they've been on pit road for the last 5 or so laps. They had already used up their faster pair. They were involved in another incident. Right now, 5 laps down for Mike Tellier in 19th, 20th for Michael Norman, 6 laps down, and they're still sitting on pit road getting repairs done. Had a lot of other drivers here under this caution period with extended stays on pit road. Shane Tyrion, Tom Bourne, Jason Shuey, obviously, Blake Trawick, Carl Faust, and Chad Winstead, all with very lengthy stays on pit road. I believe Carl Faust got the free pass here under this yellow. Chad Winstead would be in line for the lucky dog under the next caution, as he is the only driver on track that is off the lead lap -1. So 18 drivers running, 17 on the lead lap. DJ Stagner going to take the inside line there, as we saw with the choose cone on the front straightaway. Poteet to his outside. Connor Holden right there in third. John Poole the third in fourth. Ty Smith, Andrew Siegel going to complete the top 6. The other 2 championship contenders, Bronson Stafford going to restart in 7th place. Ryan Potter back in 13th position. One thing that I've been noticing is our last couple of cautions, actually I believe our last 3 cautions, has been those drivers getting loose going into the corner. There's no consistent line as to where that car snaps loose. Tellier was, I believe, up in the 2nd groove when he went around. John Poole the 3rd and Jason Shuey were down on the inside line against that yellow line there when it went around. So really, I don't know if there's necessarily a line you can take that remedies the situation.
It's one of those risk versus rewards. You want to be as low as possible in the track, get your shortest way around, but it has a lot of risks entailed with it where, hey, you could easily lose that back end of the car and suddenly you're in a lot worse situation.
Swamp Motorsports was lined up 1, 2, 3 on that inside line with Stagner, Holden, and Smith. They all tried to anticipate when Stagner was going to go, and it almost didn't work out for them. The 18 gave a bump to the 81, and he was kind of wheel spinning there as soon as Stagner started to get up through the gears, but they're going to get the 64 out in front for the moment. Holden into 2nd. Here comes the top line with Poteet. He's trying to pick up another Toyota. That's Bronson Stafford in the 61, who looks like he wants to make a 3rd lane of his own.
About to say, it's getting that sketch point, but I can't blame Bronson because you got to think, Poteet is a championship rival here. You can't be helping him too.
We're going to go up there and help the 61. Andrew Siegel sees the run coming. He moves up there also. Ty Smith on the bottom, Dylan Poteet drafting him. And that's an interesting thing, too, with the fact that, we've got a bunch of different drivers that on a weekly basis would work with each other, but now they're all competing for the championship. So now it's kind of, I used to work with you, but now I can't work with you because it's not going to benefit me.
And that's kind of helped us find fast friends where, hey, I haven't worked with Poteet a lot this season, but right now Poteet has a lot of friends who are out of this race. And Poteet's someone who needs a lot of friends, so hey, it kind of works out in that way.
Blake Trawick was a big part in Dylan Poteet winning the last time we were here at iRacing Superspeedway. Pushed him for the last couple of laps before Trawick himself was involved and a wreck on the final lap. Pokey went on to win the race, but Trewick currently running back in the 17th position and off the pace as he's been involved in a couple of incidents here tonight. Top 3 breaking away. There's about 5-6 car lengths till you get back to the 4th place car of Ty Smith.
And Ty's had a kind of a silent journey through the field. He had that EOL for a choose cone violation last race. Worked his way up to the field, has avoided some of the accidents. He's in really good shape.
Did you see Ty Smith go to heaven earlier in practice?
I did not. I was not present.
Yeah, I no sooner joined in the server. For some reason, the camera focused on the 18. And you see Mike Tellier coming out of turn 4 as the 18 was capsized down there near the entrance of pit road. And yeah, he would have cleared the catch fence, I guarantee you of that.
Well, I said, got to raise the catch fence a few extra inches, but seeing that high lane, it's kind of surprising that high lane has some speed, but no one's really brave enough to test it. But I mean, I don't blame him. You really going to go up that high line when you have the bottom lane available.
It's the 5 of Andrew Siegel. He was working with Chad Winstead. Need to remember the 6 up here, that Castrol Supra is a lap down, trying to get the free pass to get back on the lead lap, or maybe try and get his lap back the hard way. But even though he's a lap down, certainly can be a drafting partner for someone to push them up to the front of the field. As Jay Stagner looks in his rearview mirror, Dylan Poteet back there on his bumper looking to take the lead back. These two trying to duke it out for the top position here. I believe these two have led the most laps. I think Poteet's led the most. DJ Stagner's second most so far here this evening, as we're about to eclipse into the second half of this race. And it looks like, at least for the moment, these drivers have settled it down just a tad. I know we're seeing double Y, but we're not seeing nearly as aggressive racing as we saw in the first 20.
Yeah, and it maybe is a kind of case of everyone's realizing, like, hey, we may have burned a fast spare.
Oh, I was going to say that's Stagner! It's doored by Ty Smith. And there they go. John Poole the third, Chad Winstead. Was that you flying through that?
Yeah, I was on the brakes, I'm not going to lie. I was on the brakes and didn't stop.
The brakes aren't working.
I lived in fear. I thought I was about to spear John Poole the third.
I just saw Red Bull just fly right through that.
Gave you wings.
It gave you wings for sure.
About gave John Poole the bunk.
John Poole the third, who has not used his faster pair.
I mean, he's going to need it after this.
He's going to need it now. That car's smoking as he makes his way to pit road. I think he was really the only one that got major damage out of all of that. Maybe Chad Winstead as well in the 6th, though I'm not seeing a whole lot of visible damage to that machine. Oh, DJ Stagner's pretty well torn up on the front, especially the left front. And he just got doored by his teammate Ty Smith, which I'm going to assume when we go back and look at the replay, we're probably going to see it was just the car getting loose again. Probably unintentional. It was, again, over in that trouble spot, turn 3.
Yeah, and it was just at turn 3, and I think Ty may have came down just a pinch. Yep.
Ooh, yep.
Came down just a pinch and got a little bit of contact.
Cody Lamas gets a piece of it. Matt Muir as well. All right, he says he was on the brakes. The onboard will tell.
Yeah, you could see the fear in my eyes as I came closer and closer to the accident, realizing the brakes weren't working as well as I thought. I probably could have slammed them down a little bit harder. And there you go. Yeah, okay, so it loaded up like about 200 feet past where you wanted it to. Yeah. I'll admit it is very fun to watch my screen on 2 different monitors and try to maintain pit road speed. You know, I just came up with a great idea. You know What's
how
that?
they have the heart monitors for drivers? We need to have a clench monitor where it reads a driver's like hands and wrists.
Oh, that was not what I was thinking. I was like,
oh my gosh.
No, I was thinking, like, man, how in the world are they going to make that?
Now, well, I would think the clench meter that you're thinking of, the heart monitor, takes care of that. If it spikes, then you definitely are clenching. But no, do it like with the hands.
I can tell you, I was clenching.
How hard you grip the wheel.
No, I had fear. Brakes are not that good in this league.
Fear was instilled in this man.
I saw the light. What a season. What a season.
Oh, man. Well,
Season to
Dylan
remember.
Pote, Bronson Stafford, they elect to stay out. Gain some track position here. Everybody else on pit road. To get into that point of the race where it's going to be easier to name off the drivers that still have their faster pair available rather than those that have used it up, as I'm quickly eyeballing, I think I see about maybe 7 or 8 drivers that still have a faster pair available. Your top 2 are included in that. Also, Ty Smith. Shane Tyrion somehow still has a faster pair. He's had the front end, the nose ripped off twice, but he still has a faster pair. Sean Billman, Matt Muir, Connor Holden, and Cody Lamas appear to be the drivers that still have that mulligan should they need it.
And really,
I believe there was no lucky dog because Chad Winstead, Chad Winstead wasn't involved, was he? Maybe he is the lucky dog. We'll wait for confirmation on that. I don't think he was involved in the wreck.
I don't think Winstead was.
So he should get the free pass here, I believe. And that would put 17 cars on the lead lap. Jason Shuey is now 3 laps down, though he is still running in 18th. And Mike Tellier is returned to the track 7 laps down. Some 19 cars of our original 20 are still running. And with Winstead, if he does get the free pass, there'd be 17 of them on the lead lap. All right, so we're compiling a checklist for next season. We need the clench meter. Which clench meter? You'll have to find out next season.
That's 55 laps. I'm not prepared to be that uncomfortable. Honestly, no, the heart rate is a good idea. We can honestly link that up. And that could be a good thing because, I mean, especially when we get in those late race green, white, checkered scenarios where we're getting ready to restart. Now, the big question that comes into mind is fuel strategy. How are we playing out right now? Because I can tell you, I'm not going to make it to the end. I've got about 22 laps left in my tank, and that's just with us pacing around. We've got about 28, 27 to go, and we got to make it around that one extra circuit for at the end. So here's where it's going to get crafty.
I mean, what we've seen, though, do you think we are going to finish this thing under green? Is fuel really that? Because I know you're obligated to bring up fuel strategy. It's our job, but still, do you really, just based on what we've seen here,
well, as an investor in Goose 1. But no, I mean, it has the potential to go green to the end because we've had a lot of cars end up dropping out, and it's gotten a lot more kind of touch and go here.
Green flag back in the air. 27 laps remain as Poteet crosses the line. As of right now, Dylan Poteet could potentially be in the points lead. Oh, whoa, what the heck happened back there? John Poole III just jumped up in the air. I think he got jacked up by the 47. The caution is back out again.
Yeah, that was a quick caution.
Is there some miscommunication on the restart? I think it was Mike Tellier got into the back of the 32. The 32 jumped up into the air. Nobody spun.
Yeah, it actually looks like this caution was an error. Looks like we had an admin get a little bit jumpy on his button and he got a little bit scared.
John Poole III was trying the old Kyle Busch.
It's legal.
Hello. Tellier comes up the racetrack right into his lane. And
you know, that's the man I'd love to see with the clench meter.
Yes.
I want to see the jump in heart rate of that man.
0, 10, 20, 30, 100! So additional damage for the 32 of John Poole III. Mike Tellier with additional damage, so he was several laps down. The 6 was not the lucky dog, so maybe he was involved in the previous caution. So he was not the lucky dog under previous yellow, should be the lucky dog under this yellow. So we'll have 17 drivers back on the lead lap as Poteet trying to catch up to the iRacing pace car here. Andrew Siegel, Bronson Stafford, Shane Tyrion, Tom Bourne, the top 5. So right now, just eyeballing it, I would say that Dylan Poteet currently would be the points leader and currently sit in the championship position. Ryan Potter is all the way back in 16th place for the time being. Connor Holden in 9th. And Bronson Stafford is in 2nd place, but not only does Bronson have to do well tonight, but he needs a lot of the other 3 in front of him to not have a good run. And that's a difficult situation as well, especially, well, I wouldn't say especially with the Superspeedway series, but really in any series, but maybe more so, I think, with the Superspeedway series, because everybody's all close together. It's not like it's all spread out and you can think, all right, well, I'm running in 7th. The car ahead of me is about a 1.5 seconds ahead, 4th place. I just have to pass a couple of cars, get up to his vicinity. No, here it's, oh, well, the car beside me is 2 points ahead of me. I need 2 more positions up ahead of me, and oh yeah, we're battling for the lead. There's no more positions to be gained. Shane Tyrion stayed out, and he's being scored as the race leader. I'm almost wondering, nope, he did not take on his faster pair. I wondered if he might have done the same thing that Jason Shuey did earlier. But Shane's now actually going to be back to 2nd. Like he was catching up to the pace car ahead of Poteet and Company. There's Winstead going around and getting his lap led. All right, well, we got nearly 20 laps left to go around when we get ready to go back green. So we're going to step aside for a commercial break, let the drivers have a chance to catch their breath as they prepare for this final shootout to the finish. Dylan Poteet looking for his 3rd win on the season, trying to close it out with a championship. We'll find out if he's going to be able to do so, or if any of the other Championship 4 have something to say about it when we come back right after this side-by-side. Following presentation of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Talladega Challenge Series on the Flatout Racing Network is brought to you by Ultimate Garage Floors. Ultimate Garage Floors is very active in the garage remodeling community, staying current with the latest technologies and custom configurations so that we can bring you the highest quality installations. As a Northern Virginia Exposy flooring installer, we focus on garages and commercial flooring to perfect our craft and bring you high results. In a space that gets as much wear and tear as your garage, you want to be able to trust that the cabinets and flooring we install are ready to withstand against high traffic and regular use. That is why we include a lifetime warranty with our services, so that you know we stand behind the quality of our work. To get started with a free consultation, call us at 540-931-9006 or visit us on the web at ultimategaragefloorsva.net. That's ultimategaragefloorsva.net. Lights atop the iRacing pace car, so we're going back green. On Poteet Tom Bourne, the front row. Bourne was the pole sitter, so we're seeing him back up at the front after he was involved in a couple of incidents back in the early portion of this race. Andrew Siegel right now would be the highest of the Dash for Dong drivers in 3rd place. Bronson Stafford in 4th. Connor Holden right there in the 5th position. And Carl Faust, missing front end and all, somehow, last time out winner is in the 6th position. Blake Trawick is up here in 7th. There's a lot of moving race cars up here inside of the top 10.
I mean, just think. All Faust needs to do is just keep hanging on. If something happens on that last lap, he is right in contention. But you got to think. Let me bring back up a good old friend fuel strategy. I've got 22.7 in the tank. We've got 23 to go. You can save this amount.
Yeah, but that's in regulation.
True.
We got those potential overtime green-white checkers that could take place at the end of this one.
But if we keep it green for 23 laps, there's going to be some hard decisions made in those final 10.
You'll be interested to see here with the 12 and the 56 how up to speed they are. Carl Faust trying to keep in touch with Andrew Siegel, but it looks like he's definitely not got the straightaway speed. 56 of Blake Trawick has already fallen back to the 15th position as Dylan Poteet down there to the apron. I don't know if he got loose off of turn 4, if he was trying to throw a defensive block on the 5. Here comes the top side though. Bronson Stafford's got a big push. Connor Holden up there in the 81. Those two are competing against each other for the championship, but I think maybe kind of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, might be trying to get him up there into the vicinity of the 31.
That's what my thought is. And hey, let them race each other. This is really, hey, it's go or go home time. You got to look at the positioning here. Potter is, to my knowledge, a little bit loose on the bottom.
Connor Holden is going to save it.
Atta boy.
Hey,
he did a great job.
That's Joe Gibbs Racing font. Kyle Busch would have been proud.
Absolutely. That really put a great damper as I see Matt Muir pull in the other lane when I'm trying to push him. Don't do that.
Well, I
Come
mean,
here.
Keep pushing. You got it. We can see that rear end damage there on the 72. Is that just visual, or do you actually feel an uneven bumper when you bump them there?
You know, that's the fun thing. I don't know. We're going to find out. Hey, it looks all right.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
Looks like a pretty even bump there. I mean, I've seen so many times, I think especially in this series as well, drivers, they don't get pushed, they get shoved, and it will cave in that back bumper. So I've always wondered if that actually makes it easier or harder to be able to push a car. As outside line apparently worked for Bronson Stafford. He got around Dylan Poteet for the lead. Tom Bourne slots into second. Poteet to third. Andrew Siegel there in fourth, and they're starting to open up a little bit of daylight back to the rest of the field. Sean Millman just latched on there in the fifth position.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking at here. There's going to be that whole second pack that we're in right now. They're going to be trying to catch up to that lead pack. Now, that lead pack, what they really need to do is they need to work together to start driving away from the rest of this field. And I just don't know if that's going to happen.
I would think that this track of the other three tracks that we've been to this season would have to be the toughest place to line up in a single file train to try to either pull away or reel in another group. Poteet on the high side there with Andrew Siegel. Sean Billman might be the deciding factor in which line moves. Poteet was ahead, slides up the track there to 1 and 2. Stafford battles back on the bottom. They may be dead even coming off of 2 and down the back straightaway. And keep an eye further back there. I'm seeing those tandems, you and the 18, the 72 and the 64.
Oh, I'm just being a roadblock here at the moment because I will admit the handling on this car has went off, or I've just lost skill, which the lost skill plus, oh my goodness.
Gosh, we nearly just had our entire top three wreck. Poteet came down, Andrew Siegel came down, and Bronson Stafford got forced down onto the apron. All three, I think, their left sides touched the apron, and look at how that translated down the front straightaway. When Poteet drops back, Andrew Siegel has to pick up Sean Billman. Tom Bourne was there to help Bronson Stafford keep his momentum up and get him back to the lead.
Absolutely. It's, like I said, you see the back of some of these guys, I'm wondering who's doing fuel saving.
I think probably it's easier to say who isn't fuel saving. The 72 got pushed out pretty well there by the 64. Maybe that 06 of Billman? He's had a couple of opportunities to be able to help the inside or the outside line. As Tom Bourne gets the apron, Dylan Poteet gets loose!
Oh no!
Oh, is he going to save it? He's spinning down on the apron. Back up the track, and no one is going to hit him. Caution's going to fly. Harmless spin for Dylan Poteet from around the third or fourth position. That could have been really bad, but fortunately, solo car spin, no damage from what I could see.
But the big thing is, Poteet lives to fight another day. He still has a shot.
And doesn't have to use his fast repair. I don't think, anyway.
I don't think he's gotten any damage. It may be a few seconds if it is, but his car looked fine when I drove past it.
Yeah, if anything, it would maybe be like the splitter. You talked about the damage you had when you had that abrupt transition change there. Might be the same thing for the 31. We'll go back and take a look at what happened to Dylan Poteet. I would assume that this caution now, at least for in regulation, takes fuel strategy out of play.
It does. Where it really puts us, we should be able to fill up. We should have 22 laps of the tank. If we get a few green white checkers, that's when we're going to really start throwing into the, do we have enough to make it? But I think if we get that green white checkered, I would not be surprised to see everyone else come back down pit road and take new tires just for a little bit of extra grip on this track.
Saw Poteet going around there, and one thing that I saw there that I'm sure it's been happening, but I've just now taken notice of, there's a huge bottom out for you guys when you go into that corner.
Extremely. And what it does is it slams the car all the way down to the splitter. And you may think, oh, well, we can just stiffen the chassis up. Well, if we stiffen the chassis up, as soon as we hit that bump, wham, and you just lose the back end because it's so stiff.
Billman nearly involved, and boy, Poteet was very lucky there that he was able to get that car turned back down to the inside, because that thing was about to overcorrect up the track, and that second group you were in probably wouldn't have had anywhere to go. So
no, he did a great job keeping it down on the bottom of the track. Indeed. I said, it's one of those things where when you realize the car is gone, you have to accept that, listen, the car is gone. Let me try and reduce the damage, and he did a great job of doing it.
Sean Billman is going to stay out. Interesting strategy here.
I don't know if he can make it.
Well, he was, I think, saving under that last run, because he was running 5th in that pack of 5, never really forced the issue. Maybe he feels this thing will end under regulation, and he was able to save enough there and maybe enough here under pacing to make it the rest of the way. Honestly, though, I think I probably would have come down for tires. You were talking about how the tires, how even though there's maybe only 2 or 3 laps difference in the early going, that really can make a huge difference in stability. He's going to be restarting with about 7-8 lap old tires, and everybody else behind him are going to have fresh Goodyears. Well,
yeah,
I didn't say that. I think Carl Faust might have gone with fuel only.
And the big thing that kind of catches my eye, I'm not sure how aggressively he's been running. I know I haven't been running aggressively, but the big thing is I'm worried about those rear tires, because those rear tires is really what's going to be starting to be strained. I'm worried about temp. I'm worried about wear. Now, granted, he hasn't spun these tires. He hasn't been that aggressive on them. I imagine they're probably about 998 if he comes down this time, though. Could have been trying to lead that lap if he was just trying to keep a bonus point away.
Might have been exactly what he was doing. So Carl Faust, last time out's winner, is going to inherit the lead. A little update on the championship 4. 3 of the 4 still have their faster pair intact. I don't know when it was taken, but Ryan Potter has used his faster pair in the 99. So maybe that's why we're seeing him kind of running towards the back here as we entered into the second half, realizing he doesn't have that mulligan to fall back on. Been the most consistent driver this season. That's why he's at the top of the point standings by over 90 points to his next competitor. And this has kind of been a Ryan Potter staple, right? Usually we don't see him fight his way up to the front until the closing stages of the race. Just kind of hangs mid-pack rear of the field most of the first third, 2/3 of the race, and it's worked out. So, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess.
What I'm seeing here is I'm seeing Ryan Potter here. And Potter, he understands the situation he's in. He knows he has a little bit of a buffer. Even with the double points, he still has a good buffer. And he knows that the top 2 guys, or really anyone who can catch him, they need a good run. They need to do everything they can to make it happen. So he's basically saying, look, if you really want it, you have to go on the spot, but just be aware that I'm going to survive till the end. So if that big caution or that big wreck ends up taking out a good part of the field, he's just going to get free spots out of it, and that just pretty much secures his position.
So, you know, in the case of Ryan Potter, you've got a pretty sizable gap coming in for Dylan Pote, Bronson Stafford, Connor Holden. You need to go on the attack, get as many points as you possibly can, hope the 99 runs into trouble. In this type of a race, this type of a series, this type of a racetrack, do you want to be on the defensive or the offensive? Who do you like the position of better, the points leader or those that are gunning for him?
If I'm going to be brutally honest, I'd love to be in Ryan Potter's situation, because he has set himself up with a good enough points gap where we got to this double points race, and we thought, hey, this double points race is going to be really dangerous for a lot of guys. He set himself up with just enough of a gap where, hey, it's going to end up, if something gets really close or something happens to him, it's going to be a really close battle to see who actually gets it.
Carl Faust doesn't exactly look like a car that could lead a line, but he's leading the inside line through 1 and 2. The Dale Jr. throwback, the Born on This Day throwback, as Bronson Stafford's going to go down to the apron, try and take the lead. Andrew Siegel up on the top side with Tom Bourne. Now Bourne versus Stafford down the back straightaway, and Bourne's going to clear going into turn number 3.
Oh my goodness, this car feels twitchy. Look at Poteet. He's trying to make something work.
Yeah, Poteet ran up front most of the day, had that spin from inside of the top 5, restarted back in the 16th position, and already he is up to 6th and looking for more as he's behind Matt Rodriguez right there. Up high, wide, and handsome on that third line. You're saying your car's a little sketchy. You may not want to have a car that close on your back bumper.
Yeah, it just did not feel good entering that corner.
Everybody gets through 1 and 2 safely, though. Andrew Siegel here on the bottom, now taking 3 wide. Bronson Stafford, big run on the back straightaway. He used the momentum and generated the pass by himself. And there goes Stafford. Connor Holden, Poteet's involved. That's 3 of our championship 4. Oh, Billman gets a big hit there from Jason Shuey. And look at Ryan Potter slowly snake his way through all of this. I think now all 4 of our championship drivers may be having to use their faster pair.
Huh. And suddenly I'm liking my position.
There's Bronson Stafford. Car comes to rest there on the apron of 3 and 4. Didn't look like a whole lot of visible damage, but
looks like
taking the suspension was broke on that car.
Did he have a faster pair though?
He did have a faster pair. There's the 31 of Dylan Poteet. Doesn't look like a whole lot of damage. Oh, well, now as we pan to the front, yeah, there's definitely damage on that machine. The back end looked okay. A little clip in the left rear, but the front end does not look good. And Connor Holden in the 81. Back end pretty well mangled. Pretty good damage on the right front. Let's go back and take a look. This started with 2 of our championship competitors, the 61 and the 81 getting together. And I've lost count. Big one number 3, I think we're on now.
Yeah, and iRacing Superspeedway has been relentless today.
That looked like 2 drivers wanting the same piece of real estate for different reasons. I think Connor Holden, he was just picking whatever line he wanted going into turn 3. Stafford was moving up the track because he was trying to pick up his drafting partner Tom Bourne, and unfortunately they both intersected into the same lane. Holden got through there with relatively minimal damage in comparison to the other championship drivers. He went for about a half spin and was able to straighten it back out and continue on, but Stafford into Carl Faust, up and clips Dylan Poteet. Chad Winstead took a hard hit. There's Jason Shuey back there. He got pile driven by Sean Billman. I believe Ty Smith came to a stop, and all the mayhem occurred around him, but did not involve him. And you saw that pink number 99 of Ryan Potter just slow, wait till the dust settled, and made his way on through.
But man, there's a lot of damaged cars out of this.
Yes, there is. Watch the 6 of Chad Winstead. Oh, man. Mike Tellier drifts around the outside. Wow, Deep Dylan Poteet there. We talked about that transition there. That car bounced when it came off the banking onto the apron.
My goodness.
Take a couple of onboards here. 18 of Ty Smith. They say that the eye of the hurricane is the usually the area where it's the quietest. I think that's where Ty Smith was. Watch this. Wreck occurs ahead. He's going to come to a stop. Watch his rearview mirror as well, because you'll see a couple of cars that are flipping behind there. There you see Sean Billman in the rearview mirror, and there's all the wrecking up ahead of him. But nobody hit him. Never made contact with anybody. And you saw on the ticker, our own Matthew Rodriguez up in second. Here's why.
Oh yeah, no.
Woo! Tom Bourne.
Wasn't a fun experience.
Bourne got loose there, but I think he was able to hang on to it. Lost some positions though. Sometimes the wall is your best friend. Not often, but sometimes. So we're going to get the restart with less than 10 to go. Looks like it'll be officially 8 to go. And the pace car turns you loose once again. Andrew Siegel, Matthew Rodriguez, there, your front row. Connor Holden, who looks like visibly there took the faster pair on. Yes, he did. Will be third. Matt Muir fourth. DJ Stagner in fifth.
I got Matty Muir behind me, but I don't know if he's going to push.
Dylan Poteet used his faster pair. Bronson Stafford is still on pit road, 3 laps down. I'm assuming he wasn't able to drive that car back around.
Yeah, I'm unsure if it was able to drive it back around. I have to imagine Bronson would end up limping that thing back to pit road at all costs.
He is 3 laps down. I would say with the number of laps we've got left, doesn't look like it's going to be a three-peat for the championship for Bronson Stafford. Back-to-back champion, defending champion, but it looks like that crown is going to be handed over to somebody else here in Season 4.
And look,
we already knew that Ryan Potter had used a faster pair, so the remaining 3 do not have a mulligan left as far as our championship competitors.
Right now, Holden's the one with the best shot. He was the closest coming in, and he is the closest to the front right now that has that shot.
91 points back of Dylan Poteet, but double points race. Poteet restarting in 6th. And Ryan Potter not too far behind in 8th. So they are all really close here this upcoming restart. And remember, for any one of them, I would say if they get involved in a wreck majorly here from now to the checkers, it's their championship hopes over with. As the green flag back in the air. We got 14 cars on the lead lap. And we've got 15 cars that are running. So I would say, as of right now, the lowest a driver can finish of those championship 3 would be 14th position.
Look at Dylan Poteet. That car is, I see a nose on it.
All 3 of our remaining championship drivers, faster pair in the hole. Holden and Poteet having to use their faster pair here under this latest yellow. How is Shane Tyrion still up here?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay, he has used his faster pair. I was going to say, he had the front end ripped off twice and still hadn't used a faster pair. Now he has used a faster pair up here trying to pick up what would be his second win on the season. Won about 3 weeks ago at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Poteet pushing Connor Holden out in front. This is interesting. Holden, the closest to Poteet in points.
And really what I think he's trying to do is he's just trying to make it a 2-man fight.
I mean, maybe potentially Poteet kind of putting the math in his head that even if Holden wins this race, if I finish second, I'm still going to win the championship, and Holden can get his first win on the season. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe the second straight race, the 81 goes to victory lane as well, if Holden's able to close it out. Because remember, last time out was Carl Faust going to victory lane in that 81 car in a sub-roll.
It's an interesting strat. I don't know how that's going to play out.
Andrew Siegel still looking like he's in good position to be the Dash for Dong winner. His closest competitor would be all the way back in 10th position. That'd be DJ Stagner. Now here's the thing too, Connor Holden, Dylan Poteet, they are currently running first and second, but Ryan Potter is the guy that they have to try and catch for the championship, and he's still up in this lead pack, riding in the 11th position. So even if they're able to finish on the podium, would it be enough for the 81 and the 31?
Oh! There is a little bit of, looks like Billman hit the apron just a little bit, shot the track, hit Tom, and Tom almost took out Poteet.
Close call there, again up inside of our top 5. I think about 3 or 4 of our cautions here this evening have involved drivers up inside of the top 5, and a lot of drivers in the mid-pack rear of the field have subsequently been caught up in it, as Poteet way up the track there. Gonna drift back to around the 7th position, tucks in line behind Matt Muir in the 72. At the front, 3-car tandem. That is Holden Chevrolet, Siegel Chevrolet, and then the Toyota of Shane Tyrion. All 3 manufacturers pretty well represented beside the top 5, because you got a blue oval there and Sean Billman, 4th place.
Absolutely, and I'm seeing some different strategies to the front. I'm honestly, right now it's anyone's game. Who's really going to get that final lap run? Who's going to get that final pusher all the way down on bottom?
Camera almost couldn't see Shane Tyrion behind that high pit wall. He was so close to it. Tom Horn follows him down there, all legal. The apron. whether it be on the front straightaway or the back straightaway, and we may see a lot more of that here in the closing stages. That was one thing that we didn't see a lot of until the end of the race. The last time we were here at iRacing Superspeedway was the utilization of the apron. I don't know if that was a case of what we've seen here today and saw then with that looseness going into the corner, drivers just not wanting that shallow entry into 1 and 3, or if really it just didn't benefit them until later on in the race. But we're seeing the apron utilized a lot here throughout tonight's event.
And I think it's a lot of it's desperation moves. Like, hey, this is the last race of the season. This is the last race of this car. So realistically, hey, we've got to try something.
Last race of this car. Are you teaching something there?
Maybe I am. Maybe I am.
Interesting. Sneaky, sneaky. Shane Tyrion to the point. Looking for his second win on the season, trying to tie Dylan Poteet for most wins on the year. Poteet, the only driver with 2 victories. Whoa, look at there. Matt Muir jumps up in front of Holden. Holden jumps to the bottom. Sean Billman takes it 3 wide, and stuck in the sucker hole is driver 72. Hunter Holden, by his lonesome up there, trying to get something to happen against Andrew Siegel as front of the field. It's the Toyota Supra is locked up. The 38 of Shane Tyrion, the 16 of Tom Bourne. 3 laps to go. 6 miles remain here at iRacing Superspeedway. Maybe.
Woo! Man, it's getting really dicey in these cars. They are definitely not liking being on that bottom.
Ryan Potter in the 99, currently in the 10th position, looking for 9th, following in the tire tracks of Swamp Motorsports teammates DJ Stagner. And Poteet trying to work with Matt Muir to get further up to the front of the field. Hunter Holden, he's trying the inside. He's going to get freight train on the top. Tom Bourne, Andrew Siegel, Sean Billman, Matt Muir.
I feel a big one coming. There. I feel a big one.
Oh,
it's gonna happen.
Going 3 wide, maybe 4. Nope, they're gonna keep it at double. Now 3. Poteet up high, wide, and handsome. No drafting help as of yet. Andrew Siegel goes to the lead as a result of all that jostling. Billman moves into the 2nd spot. Billman had a podium finish a couple of weeks ago, looking for yet another finish inside the top 3, maybe even his first checkered flag of his career. We've had a lot of those this season with first career winners. Dylan Poteet, Shane Tyrion, DJ Stagner, Andrew Siegel, Zach Johnson, all getting their first checkered flags of their Baadteshop Superspeedway Series career. Could another driver be added to that list? Right now, the highest of those would be the 06, but you've also got Matt Muir right there in the 5th spot.
I'd say I think we're going to get a little bit crafty here.
Oh, we're going to get to the white flag. How about that? 1 lap to go. Stagner to the lead. Billman into 2nd. Battle on for 3rd between Siegel and Tyrion. Looking for our championship competitors. The highest is Poteet in 6th. Holden's right there, though, as is the 99 of Ryan Potter. I think Potter's got this unless something happens to him through 3 and 4.
Oh, we still got 2 corners.
We still got 2 corners and that straightaway. A lot can happen from 4 to the line. Oh, Billman's going to get hit by Tom Bourne. There's a big one. We're going to stay with the leader off of turn 4. Potter got through it in the 99. He's up to the top 5. DJ Stagner got his first win at Talladega. He'll get his 2nd tonight in the finale. He'll win the Dash for Dong. And Ryan Potter finishing P4 is going to be the Season 4 UpperEdge Racing Baadteshop Superspeedway Series champion.
And it was really a hard-fought battle. It's a battle of attrition. He played it right.
Night belongs to Swamp Motorsports as Stagner gets the win, Stagner gets the Dash for Dong, and Potter gets the championship. 3 of the top 4 were Swamp Motorsports drivers. Dylan Poteet with a team that's affiliated with Swamp Motorsports, so in a way a corporation 1, 2, 3, 4 here tonight. But what a finish. They got to the white flag. All heck broke loose going into 3. Sean Billman, Tom Bourne were at the start, but we'll go back and look at the replays of what happened on this final lap in just a moment. But I think we're going to get some teammate duel burnouts here. Don't kill him.
I just gave him a little dent. Couldn't let him get a good photo.
I mean, visibly it looks like you got the dent because you got no front end, buddy.
Boy, this car is just holding together with hopes and dreams.
DJ Stagner. Race victory burnout, 2nd time He's able to do that this season. He won the 30-lap shootout in the first Talladega duel. Here tonight, the 57-lap season finale at iRacing Superspeedway. And there is Ryan Potter. Looks like we're going to do, there we go, some face-to-face burnouts here. The 64 and the 99. It's Ryan Potter showing consistency is key. Never found victory lane this season. Top 5 after top 5 after top 5, hitting him the championship here in Season 4. Sean Billman's car is already doing some burnouts with the front end. That thing's smoking. Go back and see what happened with him as jump back to the replay. We'll come back afterwards, show you your full finishing results.
Let's see if we can get you some accurate points.
11th, Tom Bourne crossed the line in 7th place. We'll see all of who was involved in the wreck. For 2nd and 3rd were Billman and Bourne going into the corner, and like Billman got the apron. Gene Tyrion, oh, Matt Muir, big hit.
Oh my goodness.
There's Connor Holden up ahead there in the 81. Not the way he wanted his race to end. He crossed the line in 10th. There were a couple of others that got bits and pieces of this wreck. 72. Right here, gonna shoot right up the track, hard into the wall there. Cody Lamas got a piece in the 48, but he kept it straight. Oh, no he didn't. Man. Pounded the inside wall there with Ty Smith. Let's see if we can go back and document that real quick. I thought he held on to it after the contact between himself and the 81, but then he came up the track into Ty Smith, and ooh, big hits there for both of those Chevrolets.
Huh. Would you look at
And
that?
how about this? And how about this drive? Watch this.
Hey.
Watch the Red Bull car.
I don't think you really want to watch that.
I think he was in 9th or 10th going into 3, and then...
Yeah, he had some issues.
Car didn't look pretty, but it stayed straight.
Oh, he died in front of me.
And crosses the line in the 6th position here tonight.
And I will say, I just looked at it here. It looks like Andrew Siegel is going to get the rookie championship. He barely clinched it. He is the rookie of the year.
So well done to Andrew Siegel. Incredible rookie season for him. That victory, of course, back at the 2nd of the Dega duels. He's going to finish 8th in overall points. I believe his closest competitor, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, was Chad Winstead.
Yeah,
It's
Winstead lost
35 points difference between those two.
And the big thing is he was so close in points. He was really, I think, really leading coming into this, and just this bad race. That's how much the double points can change it.
The 3rd place finish, able to secure the deal for Andrew Siegel in the 5. Andrew Siegel, I believe an independent racer this season, so it was kind of your friends are where you find them season for him. And as you see your finishing results here tonight, 4th place for Ryan Potter to win the championship. 1st place for DJ Stagner to get the dash for Dong. I believe all these drivers made it back to the start-finish line. Down to Blake Trawick, I think, was the last driver to cross the line. Cody Lamas was unable to fire the car after his hard hit into the inside wall. He'll get credit for 13th, and everybody else finished off the lead lap. Some of them were still running. Most of them were back in the garage or on pit road getting repairs. Maybe the big one that stands out there, obviously, Bronson Stafford, though he was, in essence, one of the long shot drivers coming into this one, trying to go for the three-peat, but picked up a victory this season. Is going to finish out the year at least inside the top 5, I would think, in overall points, and he'll look towards next season to be a 3-time champion here in the Baadteshop Superspeedway series, as that will complete your finishing results down to Michael Norman in the 20th position. Well, we're going to do something a little bit different than we normally do. We normally talk to our top 3 each week, but we're going to be talking to 4 drivers here tonight based on the fact that we've got our podium finishers and our champion who finished in 4th place. So we'll kick things off with talking with one of our podium finishers. Let's see if we can dial up the driver that you just confirmed as the Rookie of the Year, Andrew Siegel. Hey, Andrew, it's Matthew and Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got us?
I got you loud and clear.
Well, what a wild race here tonight from start to finish. Didn't exactly start out the way that you were hoping. We saw you had to take a faster pair pretty early in the going, had to kind of keep that thing in one piece for the remainder of the race, but in the conversation in the closing stages, really looked like there at the end, though, all alliances were out the window. You had to kind of find a dancing partner, maybe even find one that didn't exactly want to be your dancing partner if you were to stay up at the front. A lot of jostling around. How were you able to keep it up there, and could you have done something different to have this 5 in victory lane for the 2nd time this season?
Oh, geez. I for sure didn't want to be the leader with 2 to go, I believe it was. I knew I was going to get left behind because, I'm not anybody's teammates or anything, but I tried my hardest to keep it up there after, starting the race badly. That I thought I was done early, but there was a couple of crashes where I thought I was going to get clipped, but I didn't. The lines drew straight for me, and I was able to pull off 3rd place here tonight.
So, Andy, first of all, Rookie of the Year, my man. How in the world? But not even going off that. I mean, we're going on the final lap. We're on the back straightaway. You're in the middle. You're seeing cars on the inside go around. You're seeing cars on the outside go around. You're thinking, man, I'm in a really bad situation. Then suddenly out of 3, hey, it's C's part.
Yeah, coming off of 2, I was like, I'm going to be all right. And everybody just spread out around me, and I was like, oh no, I might die here. But thankfully, I was able to get back in line, I believe in the middle, or not in the middle, down below. And they started wrecking above me, and somehow I didn't get clipped or anything, and I survived.
So you brought it up, and we talked about it before we brought you in, the fact that you're not running with any specific team, you're an independent. So what kind of work do you have to do behind the scenes to try and make alliances, get drafting partners during the course of a race?
Oh, geez, I couldn't tell you right now, but I've been talking to a few people on and off here, but I missed Daytona and a couple other races here, and try to work with, I believe it was Dylan Poteet at somewhat during the race, and we usually work good together, and a couple others, but I think a couple others fell out of the race pretty late. I'm pretty much on an island by myself, and I got to work with what I got.
Well, one rule we know in Superspeedway racing is everybody wants to work with a fast car, and you certainly have had one every single time we see you on the racetrack. You bring this fast machine home in 3rd place. As Matt said, congratulations on Rookie of the Year championship here this season. Before we let you go, the floor is yours for thank you, sponsors, and shoutouts.
Well, first of all, I gotta thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and Matt and everybody else with the UpperEdge Racing here, and putting on great racing each week. And gotta thank Menards being on the car this season, and I'll hopefully pull up a championship next season.
Andrew Siegel going to finish out the year overall in the 8th position in points. Limited number of starts on the year, but gets the finishes to rack up the rookie championship here in season 4 of the UpperEdge Baadteshop Superspeedway series. Congratulations on the job well done. Hopefully we see you run full time in the upcoming new season and maybe see you in that championship battle. Best of luck.
Hopefully so. Thank you much.
Let's see if we can dial up our 2nd place finisher here tonight, Dylan Poteet. Hey Dylan, it's Matthew and Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got us?
I do. How's it going?
Well, I mean, I keep saying this over and over, but I'm going to continue to say it because it's exactly what it was. Wild race here tonight in the season finale at iRacing Superspeedway. A lot of things that you had to do here tonight. You were getting them done, led the most laps here tonight, spent a good portion of the race up inside of the top three. We saw the little slip up there, the spin from third place, but no harm, no foul, no damage. We saw you work your way right back up to the front near the end of this race. How difficult was it, though, to be on the offensive like that, knowing that you also had to have the 99 run into some problems here tonight as well?
My mindset was just try to stay up and I was just thinking I needed to win the race. I felt like that was the only hope, and I think it still didn't matter. So I just didn't really want to give up track position. And like I said, I just self-spun like a dummy for the second time, both times this season at this track. So I don't know. I just wanted to stay up there and just try to do all I can to just try to get as many points as I can, because I pretty much put myself in almost a long hole and everything. So I thought a lot had to happen for me to even have a chance, and it just didn't work out. I mean, I had a fun time. It was a great race. I don't know what it is about this track. It's fun, but it's also very chaotic. But had fun working with everybody, and just it's another good race. I'm just honestly glad just to finish and not being the last lap wreck. It's been I think since the last time we were here, like race 3 was the last time I can say I had a decent race. So it's kind of been a while.
So, first of all, I'll remember that leaving me out to dry. Second of all,
Hey, I apologize. I sent you a message and I apologize, and I got you the next time.
but second of all,
and then you sent me. You went to the wall, and I followed you almost into the wall, and I was like, "Here we go."
well, you're not going to like what I'm going to tell you. I actually pushed you more than most of my teammates because you were closer, but I was afraid of killing my teammates, but I wasn't afraid of killing you. So take that as you will.
That's been our friendship. That's been our friendship since day one. I mean, we've played around at 120 miles per hour. We've done it all. So I mean, honestly,
don't remind me of that 20 miles per hour thing at Daytona. That's ingrained in my mind.
Hey, we held our line, so
I want to go fast.
You did. That Dodge paid.
I mean, I appreciate the help though.
My Dodge left the sport.
It's the pure fact of I've saw you time and time again get knocked to the back of the pack, stand back up, drive it back to the front, get knocked back again, and man, he was Shawshank Redemption. He was not going down. He was Jason.
Well,
he refused to die.
Well, my mentality was kind of either all or nothing tonight. Like I said, just I feel like I had to win the race, but I mean, Ryan finishing fourth, it didn't matter. I think I would only gotten like 30 more points, and I would have still been, I think, 41 back or something. So I don't know if it really wouldn't have made much of a difference, but it just kind of goes back to that about 5-week span where I just forgot how to drive and finish. So just once that happens, it's just hard to get out of that hole without winning races again, and just a little too late. But Ryan did a good job. I want to congratulate him on the championship. I think he didn't finish outside the top 10 all season, which is impressive. And he did what he was supposed to do, and I'll give him all the credit because he ran a hell of a season, and I can't take that away from him, and nobody else can because now he's champ, and I can't really complain.
He gets a trophy with his name on it.
That's true. I'm supposed to get one too, but it's gonna be a lot smaller.
You do.
Okay.
I
get two.
You get two of them.
Will they combined be the same size as his?
I can't really get you a Transformers trophy. I'm afraid that it doesn't work like Ultron or
duct tape
Voltron.
Duct tape is a thing, so we can make it work.
Gorilla glue is a thing.
Yeah. Well, that's a commitment there.
I can do some modifications before that trophy gets to you. Don't worry about that.
Maybe we should just keep the two.
No, I like your idea. I think we'll do that.
The Matt Rod idea never good.
Whenever I hear I've got an idea, I brace for trouble.
Sorry, I got us off track. I'll let you continue on your interview.
Can we have a clench meter for whenever Matt Rudd says I have an idea? We won't get that reference, Dylan, but yeah, we may have a clench meter next season. But,
oh no.
What's worse, I have an idea or watch this?
Oh man,
I've seen a lot of watch this.
Coin. Flip it, it's 50-50.
Watch this followed up with oh no. I've seen a lot of those happen. That's kind of probably what you did when you ran into the wall or whenever I was behind you.
Oh yeah, no, I was clenching.
That was a clench.
Someone had to try the Larson line here.
That is the word of the day. Clench is the word.
There's 6 lanes in the corner. You got to try all 6.
I was ready to go wherever anybody else was wanting to go. I didn't care who I worked with because my teammate got wrecked out early. A couple of guys I worked with died early. So
you backed the wrong horse.
I went with whoever wanted to go with me. I don't even care. That's kind of how my mentality is. A lot of times I end up racing just whoever's around me. I'll work with them, and I guess got to do what's best for me at the end of the day too. So I thought I was screwed at the end, honestly, because if it wasn't for Connor coming up there, I appreciate him giving me a chance there at the end. I hate that he got caught up in that wreck too, but if it wasn't for him, I didn't have a shot because I kept falling to the back right there at the end, just no help. So Connor gave me at least a glimmer of hope there at the end, so I appreciate him pushing me on that last lap. So, but getting second's not bad.
You talked about the hardships down the home stretch, but 2 victories on the season. You bring it home second in overall points in the conversation for the championship here tonight. An incredible first full-time season for you here in the Baadteshop Superspeedway Series. Congratulations on that. Something to build onto into the upcoming next season. Before we let you go, we're going to give the opportunity for thank you sponsors and shout-outs, and maybe needle mad about hitting the wall again.
Sorry I derailed this interview. I think you turned to one big question, but anyway, thanks to everybody at Team Trap House for what they do. Dylan, Body as always, was able to get some paints in. I hate that he had to step away from racing, so I didn't miss racing with him, but tried to bring it home for the Trap House, but it didn't quite work out. I just want to thank Blake Trawick for helping this season, John Poole, Cody Lamas, and we also had Michael Norman late in the going there. And then I appreciate everybody at Swamp for working with me throughout the season as well. I appreciate just anybody, honestly, that had worked with me. And just thank you guys for putting on another season. Sorry I had a little bit of an attitude at Talladega. Other than that, that's where I kind of mellowed out and just wanted to race. And it was fun. Ready for maybe the next season and go back to the old car where I couldn't finish again. I wrecked every week, but it is what it is. Just thanks again. And Matt, hopefully we connect together next time and maybe one of us get a win. We don't die. So,
we have a knack of getting together, and neither of us usually finish the race. So the fact we're both running at the end,
I still would rather try. If I see anywhere around, I think we're vice versa. We see each other, we go for it, and whatever happens, happens.
It's one of those
here's what happens next season. I'm calling your paint schemes. One of you is North Magnet, the other one's South Magnet. You stay away from each other.
Which is which?
It's the big thing is I don't actively seek out Poteet. We just kind of run into each other because we race similarly.
I know what you're saying. I have the same deal with RJ Bishop over in NR. We always find each other and we don't mean to. So
I went to the outside, a couple of restarts, and about 5 people go to the bottom, and I'm by myself. I look up, there comes a goose car, and I just sent a message saying, "Hola."
I just kept going top because top was. I was like, "Oh, no one's going top. All right, I'll go top."
Second time it happened, I was like, "We meet again." I was like, "Hell, we might as well track position," and then we did our thing. Well, for the most part, and then we kind of died a couple times, but yeah. But it was fun. I just want to say also congrats to DJ for winning the race. Congrats to him on that one, and then congrats again to Ryan for winning the championship. And I think Andrew Siegel got Rookie of the Year, I believe.
Yes, he did.
And I want to congratulate him for that. And I was telling him we shouldn't have been side drafting each other. We didn't give each other a chance to get DJ, but it is what it is. So, and congrats to DJ on winning the dog challenge thing, I think.
Well, second place tonight in the season finale, second place in the overall standings here. Dylan Poteet brings it home on the podium at iRacing Superspeedway. Congratulations on a great run and a great season, and best of luck next year.
Next year? I thought it was in a few weeks.
Well, next season. We'll go.
Honestly, with me, it's a roulette wheel. We don't really
you never know with
start.
Matt. That's right.
Technically, I was supposed to book a hotel like a week ago.
Hopefully I'll be back up here.
I wasn't going to bring that up till after we went off the air, but,
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll be back up in the booth on good terms next season and not upside down like I was every other week after race 3. I died a lot, so hopefully you'll get to talk to me again.
Dylan Poteet, second place here tonight. Congratulations on a great way to close out the season.
Bye-bye.
And let's go down to Victory Lane, see if we can dial up DJ Stagner. Hey, DJ, it's Matthew and Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got us?
Sure do.
I'll tell you what, end out the season on multiple high notes. A 2-time winner, top of the board, tied for top of the board for most wins on the season. You close out the year with yet another checkered flag and the Dash for Dong winner. Congratulations.
Well, I appreciate it. It was a wild race. Chaos everywhere, crashes, and going back to the front. And I don't know. That was probably one of the more wild races I've been a part of in terms of it seems like everything that was bad was happening right in front of me, and it was very scary.
So you're coming down to the last few laps. You got Andy in front of you. Andy is kind of just vibing. And then suddenly out of nowhere, actually, did I get that right? No, I did not get that right. I'm so sorry. Where in the world were you those final laps? Hang on a sec. Where did you come from? Oh my
I was
goodness,
just
you
hanging.
shot through the field. How in
Just
the
hanging.
world did you do that?
Well,
You're
Try
not
to keep-
passing post-race tech.
try to keep a clean car at the end. That was the objective. The way the race was trending, there was probably going to be about 4, 5, 6 clean cars left. So the whole goal was to be one of those in that group.
Yeah, and obviously, I believe only one car finished the race without taking on a faster pair, and they were sitting on pit road at the conclusion of this race. I mean, I saw a lot of drivers get damaged in the early going and elect to kind of ride it out. Other drivers had to be forced to take on that faster pair in the early going, have to change up the strategy. I mean, we got to remember back, your first win this season was in the 30-lap dash at Talladega that went caution-free. Here tonight, though, having to kind of pick and choose the strategy on the fly based off of when the cautions fell and how big the wrecks were. We had about 3 or 4 big ones here tonight. So how difficult was it to kind of have a strategy here?
Yeah, there was no strategy. It was just the wreck could have happened anywhere between 1st and 18th, and the goal was look for the warning signs and be prepared for when it was going to happen, because it was always going to be on corner entry. So, or very rarely on exit. So that was pretty much what it was all about. Just looking for the warning signs of, okay, the field's in a place right now where there's a pretty decent chance there's going to be a wreck. So maybe back out, maybe just be on high alert.
Now, we talked about this season, race wins, obviously very important. They pay out a lot, but consistency key as well. We end up seeing you hit a consistent streak here towards the close of the season. Some poor finishes in the early going, maybe taking you out of the championship picture coming into tonight. But, I mean, with the home stretch you had, the consistency there, something to build off of into Season 5?
For sure. I mean, I missed, I think, 2 races. Might have been 1, it might have been 2, might have been 3, I don't know. But I think it was 2. And, with those 2, had I been there with those 2, I don't know what would have happened. I might have finished last in both of them. But it's definitely good to win and to run good and feel like you can put yourself in a position on a plate track to win. I mean, it's easy, yet at the same time, it's quite difficult
Don't you
at plate
tell me
tracks.
it's easy.
It's easy. It's easy to get to the front, but it's hard to be there when it matters. Is the right way to put it. So it's, I don't know, but I love plate racing. It's probably my favorite, but I am looking forward to next season. Yes.
A great way to end out the season for you. Multiple wins on the season. The checkered flag here tonight after the mayhem that was iRacing Superspeedway, and about $50 richer as well, being the Dash for Dong winner, eligible for it after your win at Talladega. So congratulations on a great way to cap off this season for you. Before I let you go and get back to your celebrating, the floor is yours for Victory Lane. Thank you, sponsors, and shout-outs.
Shout out to Ryan Potter. What a great, that is an all-time good season that he just ran. That's probably never going to be beat, or it's going to be very hard to beat it. I think, top 10 every race, if I'm not mistaken. So, him, Swamp Motorsports, Connor, Ty, Billman. Billman literally is responsible for both of my wins. So he pushed me at Talladega and he pushed me here. So without him, I decent chance I have 0 wins. Carl coming in clutch there late. Not on lap 3 though. That was kind of rough for him. But yeah, just everybody in our group that we've been working with. It's been fun. We really enjoy this on Friday nights, Super Speedways.
Well, DJ, congratulations on the victory here tonight, winning the Dash for Dong. And obviously, as said, looking forward to seeing if the consistency we saw late in the going here this season can translate over into next season and maybe get you a championship trophy. But go enjoy this victory, and we look forward to seeing what you bring to the table in Season 5.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we're going to go down now to Championship Circle and talk with the Season 4 UpperEdge Racing Baadteshop Superspeedway Series champion, Mr. Ryan Potter. Ryan, it's Matthew with Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, we knew coming into tonight you were going to be playing defense against the other three mathematical eligible drivers. You had a pretty good cushion coming into tonight, though we did have double points paid out this evening. But it kind of looked like it was classic Ryan Potter. Didn't change the strategy from what we've seen all season long. Just kind of hung out there at the back, especially after we saw you take on the faster pair and then cut your way through the carnage late to bring it home fourth and lock up this championship. I mean, what were the nerves like coming into this evening?
They were. They weren't too high until I took the faster pair. Then it was a little heightened because I'm like, all right, now I gotta really conserve then because I took it super early. So it was just kind of, I was playing super defensive towards the middle point of that race. Like I think there was a point where I lost the draft even. So I was just, but then I think they kind of, it almost got to the point where that last little bit of a run where I kind of just, it was still trying to play safe, but at the same time, I didn't back off the pack or anything like that. I wanted to make sure I was still up there in case there was a wreck. This way I could sneak through, hopefully. But yeah, everything just played out the way it needed to. So yeah.
So this whole season, you have not finished outside of the top 10 once. You have only finished outside the top 5, to my knowledge, once or twice, maybe. You have completed the most laps on track. You've just been outrageously consistent. I mean, how in the world? Not to knock you, Potter, but I'm not used to this.
It's luck. It's luck. I mean, I had a.
Oh, give yourself a little bit of credit.
Listen, I had a horseshoe up my you-know-what all season, I think, because realistically, I mean, I don't know how many, especially tonight even, you can look directly at the last lap tonight, I should have crashed in that wreck and been wiped out. Dylan probably should have won the championship realistically because I should have been wiped out in that last wreck. But that was kind of the thing, was just I just got so lucky on a lot of those last lap crashes. I was just able to sneak through them, or somehow or another, just the tarot cards aligned. Everything just flattened itself on the table, and I was able to figure out which one I need. Everything worked out. That's all I can really say. It's just everything. It was. I don't want to say it was handed to me on a platter, but like, yeah, just basically luck is the only reason I won this championship.
With winning this championship, what does this do for the outlook in the upcoming fifth season? Does it make you more motivated to try and go out there and win another championship? Are you kind of like, now I've got this championship trophy, I can kind of lay back, have some fun, try some things? I mean, what is the outlook for the upcoming season heading in as the defending champ?
Really, honestly, I think it's a clean slate. I mean, I think this season is this season, and I'll move into next season and go out there first race of the season and try to win a race, and go out first couple races and try to win them. And if we're in the same spot, halfway through next season, then we'll play the same strategy. But it's just clean slate. Go back out there and try to win races.
If you want a fun fact, you are the first champion who has won this series without winning a race.
I only led one lap too.
I was going to
Oh
say,
my
is he the
goodness.
first champion to only lead one lap? Because I noticed that stat.
Did he only lead one lap?
I
One
led
lap at Daytona.
My
last week.
goodness, man.
Or no, it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was just like I said. It was all just playing it safe and just banking on just keep knocking off top 5s and top 10s, and just like I said, everything worked out.
Unbelievable season. Consistency was key for you bringing home this championship. As Matt said, 8 top 5s, 10 top 10s in the 10 races. Worst finish was twice 8th place. Unbelievable season you put together. Congratulations. You cap it off here tonight very nicely with a top 5 in 4th. Before we let you go and enjoy this championship victory, we're going to give you the opportunity to thank some sponsors and do some shout-outs, Ryan.
Yeah, and again, same deal as last week. First and foremost, want to thank the Cats Meow and everybody that jumped on board from them. Want to thank Reg, thank Tara, everybody there. Want to thank the team all season. We've been busting our butts to try and get good finishes and get wins. And DJ brought us home a couple. So I think Carl brought one home technically a lot as a GRT, or as a swamp car. He's actually on GRT as a swamp car because he was racing for Connor. Just consistent. Really, the whole team was consistent all season. Nobody was really having any bad races. It's just I was able to consistently somehow manage to find my way through all these messes and work my way to the front of these races every single week, which I still don't know how it happened, but here we are. And yeah, so just want to thank, like I said, everybody with the team. Thank DJ, thank Ty, thank Connor. I'm glad Connor was able to get back with us this week. Thank Carl, especially for filling in, but just to generally be there for us. Sean Billman was working with us this season. Thank him, appreciate that. Thank everybody that's been in the season, been in the league for us this season. It was a fun season. It was a little chaotic at times, but it was a hell of a fun season. And just thankful for that. And I appreciate Matt, Mike, everybody that runs the league, and everybody that puts it on. And thank you guys for the broadcast as well.
A top 5 to close out the year garners Ryan Potter, the Season 4 UpperEdge Racing Baadteshop Superspeedway Series Championship. Congratulations on a job well done, an incredible season that I think is going to be very difficult to match in terms of consistency week after week. A job well done, and best of luck heading into Season 5.
Thank you, guys.
I just keep looking over the statistics of the 99 car. And
It's crazy.
It almost doesn't seem real, especially when you consider it's a super speedway series. But, Poti, when we talked with him, he kind of a little bit spoiled your surprise. Obviously, he let slip we're going back to the legacy cars. But
it wasn't me. Well, actually, it wasn't me. It was me first, but yeah.
But do people go back and kind of look at what Ryan Potter did this season? We talked about the thing that stands out the most to me. 1 lap led. He completed 573 laps here this season, only led 1 of them during the course of this 10-race schedule. Do other drivers adopt that strategy heading into Season 5? Because if I look back at Bronson Stafford, his last 2 championships, he was a go-for-broke mentality. He was constantly fighting his way up to the front at the beginning, middle, and end of the race, leading as many laps as he possibly could. It kind of seemed like the strategy changed this season. Was that because of the car, or was that maybe because of the field size? What mentality do we see for a driver that's battling for the championship next year?
I think it really was the car, because as much as I hate to admit it, Bronson had that car down to a science where he knew exactly when he needed to go. He picked his times, and the field was small enough where he could really take advantage of that, where he could lay back, he could plot his move, and then fly through the field when it counted. But as we got to this season, that car changed. It got a lot more unstable. It took a lot more damage. It was less of a boat, which, what we've been used to the past 3 seasons. Where now, hey, you have to really think your moves. You don't get that big of a run. And then it suddenly turned into, man, we got a big field here. We've got about 20 cars averaging each race, going up to 30 cars even, where that last lap move from, 15th on back, that just isn't going to happen in these.
Ryan Potter, Dylan Poteet, Connor Holden, Bronson Stafford, they were really kind of at the forefront in battling for the points lead for the championship down this home stretch. But there were some drivers that really came on strong late in the going. DJ Stagner, he mentioned he missed 2 races. He ends out the season 96 points back. Imagine if he had run those other 2 races. We might have been talking about him maybe in that championship battle. Shane Tyrion, he came on strong in the closing stages of the season with that win at Atlanta. Tom Bourne had some very good consistent finishes to close out the season. Our Rookie of the Year, Andrew Siegel, missed a few races, but he finished high in the points. I kind of think that if we're looking at some drivers that will be in the conversation potentially for race victories, for the title by the end of the year in the upcoming 5th season, these are drivers we have to look at that I think if they run the full-time schedule, they're going to be up there towards the forefront by the time we get back to the season finale.
Yeah, and DJ Stagner, I don't think we can understate how much he finished 3rd in points this season. He only ran, I think he missed 1 to 2 races this season. He ended up getting 2 wins, clawed it all the way back to just a 96-point gap between him and Potter. Poteet, for mind you, he had 2 wins as well. He is at a 71-point gap to Potter. So just imagine those 2 extra races where he could have gained any points. That would have been huge.
We had 39 drivers in total take the green flag here this season. Shout out to Zach Johnson. One at Daytona, made another start. Actually, the season opener was at Talladega. Raced another race, made 2 starts in the season, and still finished 17th. So he hung on for a top 20.
There was a good minute where he was leading the rookie standings, and he hadn't even raced most of the season. But that's just how wacky this point system is, where this point system really benefits winning. So seeing someone like Ryan Potter being able to take the championship without winning, that kind of flies in the face of what we're NASCAR right at the moment. We tried our Final Four strategy, and shockingly enough, someone found the way to break it. He is Matt Crafton.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a very good point. Yeah, Crafton ended up not winning the race when he ended up winning that Truck Series championship. So good comparison. But wild season. We ended up seeing a lot of firsts. I think we ended up having 6 drivers go to victory lane for the first time in their Baadteshop Superspeedway Series career. A lot of drivers, a lot of names that we didn't know coming into this year. We wondered what they were going to bring to the table. Definitely going to be some drivers that we'll be having as headlines in the 5th season. This was definitely an incredible year. It came down to everybody against Ryan Potter's consistency. It will really be interesting to see what kind of storylines we're going to have next season, especially since we're going to kind of take and combine the new drivers we saw here with the new car, with the current car, and then kind of bring back in the old school with the old legacy car, mesh the two together and see what kind of a combination we get.
Absolutely. And like I said, I think if we can maintain this field size, that old car is going to be something else entirely.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens in the 5th season, but the 4th season comes to a close here in the UpperEdge Racing Baadteshop Superspeedway Series. Congratulations to DJ Stagner on the victory tonight at iRacing Superspeedway, Ryan Potter on the championship, Stagner also winning the Dash for Dong, and Andrew Siegel the Season 4 Rookie of the Year. A wild one here tonight. I can't remember the last time that you were up in the booth and you survived the race with this good of a finish. So maybe the trend is going in the upward direction here right
you
now.
know, I just want to
double-tasking.
win. I just want to win.
Yeah, I kind of felt that when you were asking Ryan Potter about consistency, you were kind of also saying, "Teach me your ways."
Yeah, like, man, I just want to win again.
Well, I'll tell you, I was talking about drivers that had.
You know, I feel
success
like
down the
Jerry
home
Jones.
stretch.
I feel like Jerry Jones. I'll trade it all just for one more.
As an Eagles fan, I'm not even going to touch that. But thank you all so much for tuning into our coverage here tonight. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed the coverage during the course of the season. Be sure to tune in when the 5th season of the Baadteshop Superspeedway Series begins here on the Flatout Racing Network. My thanks to Matthew Rodriguez here tonight for joining me into the booth. It's always great and entertaining to kind of get the driver's side while the commentary is going on. Had a blast having you up here in the booth.
Yep, it was boundless terror to make sure that nothing bad came out.
We got some amazing onboards as well, courtesy of that Goose Toyota Supra. But once again, thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. For Matthew Rodriguez, I'm Seth Cole. You've been watching another broadcast courtesy of FRN, the Flatout Racing Network.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network would like to thank you for your support, and we